Imagine a scorching summer day, the kind where the air feels like a heavy blanket. I'm out on my balcony, watering my plants, my little oasis in a concrete jungle. My name's Lily, and these plants, ferns, marigolds, a stubborn tomato plant, are my babies. They're what keep me sane after long hours designing logos for my cramped apartment. The sun's blazing, my hands are damp from the watering can, and I'm humming softly, lost in the moment. Then, out of nowhere, a voice snaps from below. "You're getting my stuff wet." My heart skips. I lean over the railing, squinting into the glare. It's Karen, my downstairs neighbor, glaring up at me, hands on hips. I force a smile. "It's just water. It'll dry in no time." She scoffs, mutters something, and storms inside. I roll my eyes and go back to my plants, thinking that's the end of it. But 5 minutes later, my phone buzzes. It's the apartment office. The manager, Linda, sounds like she's reading from a script. "We've had a complaint about you pouring water over your balcony. Can you stop?" Pouring? It was a few drops, barely enough to speckle the hot concrete below. I'm fuming, my chest tight. Karen didn't even knock on my door. She went straight to management, like I'm some kind of criminal. Stick around, because this petty balcony war is about to get wild, and my revenge? Oh, it's gonna be sweet. If you've ever had a neighbor who turned a tiny issue into a full-blown feud, you're gonna love this. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss a second of this deliciously petty revenge story. Trust me, by the end, you'll be cheering, and maybe even plotting your own payback for that annoying neighbor of yours. Let's dive in. It's late July, and the heat is relentless. I'm 28, a graphic designer who works from home on Fridays. My third-floor apartment is small, but the balcony? That's my sanctuary. Picture rows of potted plants, lush green ferns, bright marigolds, and that tomato plant I've been coaxing to fruit for months. They're not just plants. They're my escape from endless Zoom calls and client revisions. After a rainy spell, the sun's out with a vengeance, and my plants are wilting, their leaves drooping like they're begging for water. So, during my lunch break, I grab my green watering can, the one with the long spout, and get to work. The water glugs softly, soaking into the soil. Tiny droplets catch the sunlight, sparkling like little jewels. I make sure to water thoroughly, letting excess trickle out the drainage holes, knowing the concrete will dry fast in this heat. That's when Karen's voice cuts through. "You're getting my stuff wet." I freeze, the can still in my hand. I lean over the railing. Karen's in her late 40s, always in pristine athleisure, with a scowl that could sour milk. I've seen her power walking through the courtyard, but we've never talked. Now she's staring up at me like I've committed a crime. "It's just water," I call back, trying to keep it light. "It'll be gone in minutes." Her face twists, and she mutters something about disrespect before disappearing inside. I shake my head and finish watering, assuming she's just having a bad day. But then my phone rings. It's Linda, the apartment manager, with that fake polite tone. "We've had a complaint from your downstairs neighbors. They say you're pouring water onto their balconies. Can you keep it contained?" I'm stunned. Pouring? It was a few drops, maybe a teaspoon's worth, evaporated in seconds on the hot concrete. I explain, but Linda cuts me off. "Both neighbors complained, so just be careful, okay?" "Both?" That feels like a lie. The other downstairs neighbor, a quiet guy named Tom, has never said a word to me. My blood pressure spikes. Why couldn't Karen just talk to me? Why go straight to management like I'm some delinquent? The next week, I can't shake the irritation. Every time I step onto my balcony, I feel Karen's eyes on me. I catch her once, peeking through her blinds, lips pursed like she's waiting for me to mess up. It's like she's declared war over a couple of droplets. Her balcony is pristine, fancy outdoor sofa, glass-top table, no plants, no personality. Mine's a jungle, full of life. I'm not hurting anyone, just keeping my plants alive. But Karen's attitude makes me feel small, like I'm trespassing in my own home. Have you ever had someone make you feel like that, over something so trivial? It's infuriating. The next Friday, I'm watering again, extra careful this time. I even put a tray under one pot to catch drips. Then I hear it, a loud ahem, from below. Karen's back, phone out, filming me. I'm documenting this, she says, her voice smug. You're still getting water on my balcony. I lean over, incredulous. There's one tiny droplet on her table, glistening in the sun. Karen, it's one drop, I say, my voice tight. It's 95 degrees. It'll be gone in seconds. She scoffs. It's disrespectful. You need to stop. She storms off, still filming. That night, Linda calls again, her tone sharper. Another complaint. You need to stop letting water drip, or we'll issue a formal notice. My jaw drops. A formal notice? For a droplet? I try to explain, but Linda's not listening. Use trays or water inside. It's simple. I hang up, hands shaking. Karen's not just annoyed, she's trying to control me, to shame me in my own space. And for what? A few drops of water that dry in minutes? That evening, I sit on my balcony, staring at my plants. The ferns sway in the breeze, their leaves soft and forgiving, but I'm anything but calm. My chest is tight, my thoughts racing. I've always been a good neighbor, quiet, respectful, no issues in 2 years. But now I'm being treated like a problem, all because Karen can't handle a speck of water. Her smug face flashes in my mind, that phone pointed at me like a weapon. She thinks she can intimidate me, make me back down. No way. I take a deep breath, the warm air filling my lungs. I'm not the bad guy here, I whisper. These plants are my joy, my peace. I'm not stopping. But I'm also not letting Karen win. She wants a fight? I'll give her one, quiet, clever, and oh so petty. A plan starts forming, one that'll turn her perfect balcony into a chaotic mess without me breaking a single rule. The next morning, I sip my coffee and plot. Blasting music or stomping around is too obvious, too crude. I need something subtle, something that hits Karen where it hurts, her obsession with her pristine balcony. Then it hits me, nature. Her balcony might be perfect, but nature's messy. Birds, squirrels, pollen, they don't care about her fancy cushions or glass table. I head to the store and buy a bag of birdseed, sunflower seeds and millet, nothing suspicious. The next Friday, during my lunch break, I scatter a handful across my balcony, near the edge where the wind can carry it. I don't toss it onto Karen's balcony, that'd be too obvious. I let nature do the work. By afternoon, sparrows descend, chirping and flapping, knocking seeds everywhere. I watch from my window, heart racing, as a few land on Karen's balcony. The birds follow, hopping around, leaving tiny footprints and droppings on her precious table. But I don't stop there. I plant fast-growing wildflowers, cosmos and black-eyed Susans, known for their aggressive pollen and reseeding. When I deadhead them, I accidentally let spent flower heads fall over the edge, knowing the wind will carry seeds downstairs. I start composting coffee grounds and eggshells in a bucket on my balcony, leaving it uncovered just enough to attract squirrels. Sure enough, they come, digging through my pots, scattering dirt and debris below. Each Friday, I add a new layer. One week, I spill potting soil while repotting, letting fine dust drift onto Karen's balcony. Another week, I hang a wind chime that tinkles just enough to annoy her but not enough to break noise rules. I'm careful, never doing anything traceable. To anyone watching, I'm just a plant lover tending my garden. But to Karen, I'm chaos incarnate. Every Friday becomes a performance. The air smells of damp soil and blooming flowers, the sun warm on my skin. My hands, stained with dirt, feel alive as I sprinkle birdseed or trim wildflowers. Inside, my heart races with defiance and excitement. Let her complain now, I think, imagining Karen scrubbing bird droppings off her table. She started this. She could have talked to me like an adult. But there's a twinge of guilt. Am I going too far? No, I tell myself. She wanted control. I'm just giving her chaos. I peek over the railing, pulse quickening, watching the sparrows' wings flutter like tiny drum rolls, their chirps a mocking symphony. Squirrels scamper across my pots, claws scratching, leaving trails of dirt. Karen's balcony, once sterile, is now dusted with pollen, speckled with droppings, and littered with seeds. One Friday, Karen storms out, her voice sharp. "Are you doing this on purpose?" she yells, face red. I lean over, all innocence. Doing what? Just feeding the birds. They're hungry in this heat. She sputters. You're ruining my balcony. I shrug, voice calm but dripping sarcasm. Sounds like a you problem. Maybe get some plants, they'd love the birdseed. She slams her door, and I bite my lip to keep from laughing, my heart soaring. Have you ever felt that rush, that moment when you know you've got the upper hand? After a month, the payoff hits. It's another scorching Friday, and I'm deadheading my wildflowers, accidentally letting seeds drift over the edge. Karen's balcony is a mess, not a disaster, but enough to drive her perfectionist soul wild. Pollen coats her table, bird droppings speckle her cushions, and tiny wildflower sprouts poke up between her balcony tiles. Squirrels have left claw marks on her sofa, and a sparrow's built a messy nest in the corner. I hear a shriek echo through the courtyard. This is ridiculous. Karen sweeping furiously, muttering about that hippie upstairs and disgusting birds. I peek down, heart pounding with glee. Her face is flushed, hair frazzled, her perfect world unraveling. I call down, voice sweet. Everything okay, Karen? She glares, speechless, and stomps inside. But I'm not done. For the final touch, I decide to play nice. I buy a small potted plant, a cheap marigold, the kind that drops pollen like crazy. I wrap it in tissue paper, tie it with a bow, and leave it at her door with a note, sorry for any inconvenience. Thought you'd like a plant to brighten your balcony. Lily. It's the ultimate petty move, kind on the surface, but designed to annoy. I know she'll either toss it or keep it, and either way, it'll drive her nuts. If she plants it, the pollen will add to her chaos. If she doesn't, she'll feel like she lost. That evening, Linda calls. Karen says your plants are causing a mess, she says, sounding tired. I play dumb. My plants? I'm watering carefully, like you asked. Maybe it's the birds or wind? Linda sighs. Just keep things contained. I agree, voice sincere, but inside, I'm dancing. Karen has no proof, no leverage. Her complaints are falling flat. And the best part? She stops using her balcony. I see her peek out, scowling, but she doesn't sit outside anymore, doesn't host her wine nights. My balcony thrives, my plants greener than ever, while hers is a battlefield of nature's chaos. I've reclaimed my space, my peace, without ever raising my voice. Looking back, this wasn't about water. It was about respect. Karen could have knocked on my door, had a conversation, but she chose complaints and power plays. I didn't flood her balcony or blast music, I just let nature do its thing. Sometimes, the pettiest actions deliver the sweetest justice. Don't underestimate the quiet ones. We've got tricks up our sleeves. So, what do you think? Did Karen deserve it, or did I go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this story made you cheer for petty justice, smash that like button and tell us, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Subscribe for more stories like this, and hit the bell so you never miss a tale of karma in action. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.